right, guys, here comes the second half. These hobby boxes have been pretty hot, and there's been some refractor hot boxes in here, like 3 of them at least. So that might be the case that keeps on giving. So let's find out. We'll open 2 of these and then we'll go straight to the jumbo. All right. So this is the second half. So this is break 2 for tonight. After this, I'm going to do a clearly authentic break, and then after that, I'm doing a free box break of hobby. So definitely hang out for that. It's probably more of just a spammer. But if you report it or send me a PM, I can look into it and just get rid of him. But he probably just joins a bunch of forums just to spam his business. If he's not here for the hobby, then we'll just get rid of him. We don't mind people selling on the forum, but we really want it for members, you know. Thomas Nito. We've got a couple people that only sell digital download stuff, and I leave them as long as they contribute a little bit. But if they're not doing that, see ya. We had a guy in, I guess, 2013, always just bashing the forum. One of the basketball guys. And you know, I'll never promote Blowout again, and none of my friends are gonna ever promote. We're out of here, and I'm taking all my friends with us. And you know, so we told him, you know, don't let the door kick you in the ass on the way out. And ever since then, every little while, he sends a message trying to get reinstated. And it's like, you know, should we vote about it? No, we don't. We're not voting about it. I mean, did you see what the guy wrote on his way out? That's not the person you want to let back in. You know, consider it a blessing that he left and call it a day. I'm like, no. Starlin Castro. Barrios. Harrison Bader. Yeah, those are the ones that do. I'm like, oh my gosh. Just go somewhere. Leave me alone. Oh, that kind of snuck up on me. Refractor Parallel Chance Cisco. He's got base autos too because I've hit some. AL East. So NL East and AL East so far. We had one guy. All right, so check out what this guy did. This is how this guy. He sees somebody selling something, and so he sends him a message and says, "Hey, I would do $30 for this, this, and this." Right? And Buddy sends him back, "I accept. You know, that's a good deal. Here's my PayPal information. Please go ahead and claim it in the thread." You know, they want that so that it'll bump the thread and, you know, that kind of thing. So dude's like, he waits a little while, and then he says, hey, does this card have a scratch on it? And guy says, no, I mean, it's just like it is in the picture, no scratch. So he says, oh, I think your cards have scratches, I don't want them anymore. And he's like, well, I'm going to leave you a negative. You know, you brought me the deal from my thread, and I agreed, and, you know, a deal's a deal. And he's like, well, I never claimed it in the thread like you asked me to. And I never sent you the money, so it's not a deal. And he's like, yeah, it is. So he leaves him a negative. And then that dude turns around, leaves him a negative, and sends me this long-winded ass message about how this guy, they never had a deal, blah, 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 right? But I mean, I've been doing this for a while, so I can kind of see where this is going to go, right? And so I'm like, well, you know, if you didn't have a deal, go ahead and report the message showing you didn't have a deal, and you know, we'll definitely do something because we don't like being lied to. And then he sends me, I don't know, like 5 messages trying to explain how what he had already said wasn't a lie. And in the meantime, I send the other guy a message to say, hey, report your deal so I can, you know, so I have it for the log. He reports it clean as day, just like I told you, you know. And the other guy, in the meantime, left him a neg and then lied to me about it. So I just banned him, right? I don't got time for all that. AL West, JD Davis. So I banned him. He creates a new account. Guess what it's called? Free speech. That's what his new account's called. Free speech. So that's not like a red flag or anything, right? So I'm like, So I click the IP address and look for a match, and sure enough, it's that guy I just told you about. I had just been. I'm like, yeah, nobody will notice. Nobody will notice. No, he's calling himself free speech. Yeah. Rule number 1's be honest. Don't waste my time. You know, I hate that. Cody Bellinger. You know, I'm adminning a forum of 50,000 members. Now, granted, not everybody's active all the time, but it is really active for a sports card forum. And I don't have time to put up with all that. Just tell me that. Even if I don't care if you're wrong. Just don't lie to me. Don't make me have to go around looking for who's telling the truth. I hate that. So yeah, he come back with free speech. So I guess he thought that's an excuse for lying. I don't know. He's got the free speech to lie. I'm like, dude. What the hell are you thinking about? Cody Allen. Yeah, I mean, he wouldn't even have gotten suspended for that. He'd have just wore that negative isn't going anywhere, right? I mean, that's all that would have been. He'd have gotten a negative, which he did get, and that was it. Now, for the retaliatory negative, as long as he's never done it before, it's 24 hours. That's it. 24 hours. I mean, you know. But when you do all that stuff together and compound it, you're gone. Especially if you're not, you know, I mean, he had been a member for a while, like a handful of years, but he only had a handful of posts, you know, so no, I know. Out there. You're obviously not contributing much to the forum, so I don't I don't lose any sleep. Anthony, Banda Orange, that's a nice card. 21/25, that's a good pitcher. Whenever the Rays can't afford him and he goes somewhere good, you're going to have the orange rookie of him. All right, let's do a jumbo. Yeah, I mean, if you back out of a deal, usually you can use communication. I mean, the guy didn't have to leave him a negative. I mean, I got that. But it's within his, rights. If the dude sends you a deal and you agree to it from your thread, that's a deal all day. I don't care if you, claimed it in the thread. That doesn't mean anything. Bryce Harper. Harrison Bader, NL Central. I don't remember that one, but Posey, Mejia. We do have some members of the mod team that find some things more offensive than others. Maya, another NL Central. Freddie Freeman. Gary Sanchez. Harrison Bader to 99. Harrison Bader insert to 99. Yeah. Parker Bridwell, AL West. He reported a lot of stuff. Seriously, once he was gone, the reports fell. I mean, easily by half. Easily. He did. He did a lot of reporting. Gregory Polanco. He even reported other forums. Look at this shit they're saying about me over here. Jacob DeGrom, Moncada, Thomas Nido, NL East refractor auto. That is the 4th Nido auto in 2 breaks. Yeah, he wasn't being honest. He was easily the #1 reporter, hands down. Now, he might not have reported whatever he was talking about at that time. That might have been somebody else. NL Central. But that man knew how to mash that report button, that's for sure. Ohtani. Giolito. Gold Castellanos. AL Central. Gold Castellanos. Yeah, it can be tough. I mean, obviously somebody screenshot it and sent it to him. Otherwise, he wouldn't have had it to send to me. The only other option is if he snuck on with another account somehow. Ian Happ. Or if somebody let them use his login. Use their login. Paul DeJong. Albert Pujols refractor. Tanner Scott, AL East. Bradley Zimmer. Yeah. Yeah, we get that too. Scott Kingery, Prism. Nice card. Jake Lamb. Miguel Gomez. Jake Lamb, Prism. Oh, that's cool. That's awesome. I remember reading about them doing a big show. Biff and the mom. Look at that. You guys asked for him. Here he is. Acuna. NL East. Can you imagine if this was a big 2-case break? Well, that's good. Those two guys are pretty good judges of character. George Springer. I wish I could have told everyone the truth about that. That would have made a difference, I think. Brandon Woodruff, 34 of 50. The truth about that big group break change was they had another thread on their VIP site. Brad and Bohica and Wolfer and that's where they would discuss how they were going to manipulate the forum. That's why Bohica, they waited. They actually, speaking of screenshots from another forum, I have the screenshots. They waited until they knew I had left for vacation because they thought I wouldn't check the forum. And I didn't. I mean, it was up a good day before I even knew about it. But so they posted it. They planned when to post it. And they, went back and forth on what the first post should say. It should sound nonchalant and, and at first sound entirely innocent. And then individual people, like, they scheduled when these people would come in and post. And they were supposed to slowly build it up. Wolfer kind of jumped all over it because he got mad it wasn't going the direction he wanted it to. So he kind of screwed it up. If he hadn't have posted at all, ever, it would have had a bigger impact. But he was kind of easier to see through than the others were. But all those guys, if you notice, a lot of those guys were the 2007 members of the forum that never post, ever. YO Media, Brad, all those guys. I mean, they might make a post, every couple months or only in buy-sell trade or that kind of thing. And all of a sudden, they all systematically would post in there. And then Calculus Dork was a new member to their site. They had just got him to come over. And so he's in there as a kind of a newer member at the time of both forums. And he's telling people, they should respect them because they've been members for a long time. And all. It was just weird. He was really kind of a lapdog. NL East, Acuna. But I couldn't say any of that because Blowout didn't want it to be known that there was another forum of VIPs and that people from there, they didn't want that out there. Now if something like that would happen, I would blast the shit right out of that. I'd have let them do their little, and then I'd have posted the screenshots. I'd have made every one of them look like, anyway. But at the time, they didn't want me to do that, so I didn't. Unfortunately, it really would have gone a whole different way. In the end, I think it it was okay, but I lost a lot of customers over it. I still get slack every once in a while. Anytime somebody's mad, they're like, "Oh, well, look at this thread. Look at this thread here." I'm like, whatever, man. Yeah, but it was supposed to be this secret. I mean, think about how that thread was going, and then think about if I made a post where basically they were like, watch us, confuse and trick all these idiots. Look at that. Victor Robles, another one. And I had posted the screenshots of them, basically calling the forum a bunch of morons. And watch how easily they're, manipulated. And, they make these posts that are supposed to be sincere, but in reality, they planned what they were going to write over here on this other forum, and they planned when they were going to, it would have been, it would have completely backfired. Unfortunately, I never got to make that post. Which part's that? Which part is more transparent than before? I never really had a problem with him. It was all over the Wolfer thing. And even they didn't have the full story on Wolfer, but I didn't really care. Matt Olson. Oh. I don't know. We kind of had that anyway before. All the group breaks had to be calculated before. It's just what they said at the time, the rule that they were upset about was profit. And there was a rule that said that they wanted you to stay, like, you shouldn't profit more than $100 or something like that. And of course, on a 50 case break, my profit is a hell of a lot more than $100. Sandy Alcantara. And when I talked to Blowout about it, I was like, look, I'm going to make more than $100 on this. And they were like, oh yeah, that's fine. That's really more on a single case break. Because when they made the rule, nobody was doing multiple cases. Castellanos, So, whatever. It's funny. That's like 6 years ago, and it still pisses me off. Jackson Stevens. And they never went on and said, hey, Houdini came to us, and we told him that was, just on a single case break and that it wasn't a problem for him to make. They never did that. They never came out and did that. That always, that kind of irked me too. Giancarlo Prism. Irvin Santana Refractor. Tyler Wade Prism. Some breaks are really, really easy, like a clearly authentic break. Those are really easy. You're really only dealing with 20 cards. But a break where Miguel Gomez, where you've got a draft, and you've got to handle a draft. Oh man, anybody doing those kind of breaks for $100 is out of their mind. Unless you love it, and then great. But my God, for a draft, you've got to be there. And that was the thing about those old breaks, is they were all drafts. Those big Bowman draft breaks, it was all draft your player, and that was insane. Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, they are a lot of work. They're less work than a draft. More work up front, but less work in the back end. Rowdy Reed, NL East. The good thing about the auctions is I don't except for the actual moment of the auction, I don't have to worry about being there every 15, 20 minutes. You know, I can pop in a couple times a day and update them, you know. The Devers Refractor, nice card. Miguel Andujar auto. AL East. There you go, crew. Uh-oh. Oh, yeah, there should be two of those. Beltre for the Dodgers. NL West. Irvin Santana, AL Central. Purple Refractor. Dominic Smith to 99. NL East, that's a nice card. These freshman flash are pretty rare. I mean, they're numbered to 99, but actually to hit one's really, really rare. Yeah, right. Right. And you know, when all that happened, when that big thread was going on, they had gotten a hold of my wife's phone number. And they were sending her all kinds of just threats and so she wanted me to go back to doing what I was doing before, which was, you know, website content creation, and I didn't want to do it. The money at the time was better. I was making less money doing this, but man, I just liked it so much better. But she was like, no, go back, we need more money, and blah blah blah. Oh man, it was terrible. It was horrible. Acuna. And then for a long time, Adrian Beltre, for a long time, she just did not want me to do this. Now that I've got a shop again, it's a little bit easier, I think, because it's, you know, it's not all sitting at the house. Scribner, Angels. I had posted enough personal information. Ohtani Refractor and an Ohtani Refractor insert that they were able to find her Facebook. I wasn't very careful, you know. I just figured we're all friends, and I gave out too much personal information, and from there it was just easy. Devers, that's the variation. That's a nice card, and they were able to do it, and it was really, 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 it was pretty bad. I mean, we were going to get the police involved in everything. That's a nice card, by the way, the Devers variation. That's a really nice card. Yeah, it is. Yes, I'm sure, I promise. Here, I'll even look on the back, but the Devers card's different. Yeah, ends in a 5. You can't see it, but it does. And that was the deal. She was like, if that happens, I mean, it was bad. I mean, she was talking about leaving me over, and it was really bad. What the stuff they were doing was mostly juvenile, but there were some threats in there, and then there was a lot of it was lewd. You know, you can imagine. If you ever saw any of Wolfer's posts, you know what kind of stuff they were, you know, they didn't have any problem saying. Good, I'm glad. Leave it at that. Corey Seager, J.P. Crawford. Clayton Kershaw. Reese Hoskins, Urena. Clint Frazier. How they ended up getting different names is Conforto. There's my birth name that I don't use very often. And then there is my nickname, which everybody calls me. Not Houdini. And then there's the name I put on a shipping label to somebody one time. And it's not a fake name. It's a real name. It's just, it wasn't mine. It was a label I had done through UPS. And the person I had shipping it wasn't me. And so when they got that, they referred to me that on the forum constantly. And so a lot of people just thought that was my name. Otani. Yeah, 700 level nose. Mike Trout. He's been with me since the beginning. Carlos Correa. He's a good guy too. Chris Sale. Andrew Stevenson. Actually, though, he uses the name everybody uses. It's not actually my birth name. But if you use that name here, nobody would know what you're talking about except for my parents. Actually, 700 level and the heel are two of the... They were in the very first break I ever did. The 700 level and the heel. Yeah, I know. He invited my wife and I to stay with him. I'm like, dude, you've got two girls. Where in the world are we going to stay? He's like, oh, we'll kick the girls out onto the couch and you guys can have their room. Noah Syndergaard. That was when they had the National there in New Jersey. Kyle Farmer. I didn't go to that one, though. Dodgers. I think that's the only one I've missed in the last 6 years. Yeah, John's a good dude. And he's huge. Have you ever met him? I mean, he's got to be 6'4". And you know who else is really tall? P-Scale. P-Scale's like 6'6". He's really big too. And Robert's really big. I Love Fish. He's really tall. He's as tall as I am. And I'm 6'2". Although if anybody asks, tell them I'm 4 foot and 400 pounds. That's what I tell everybody. Victor Arano, NL East. I know, that's what I was thinking too about Pat. I always thought he had posted in a thread one time that he was 6'6", but I thought he was kidding. Matt Olson out of 99, but he was in Tampa a couple years ago, and my wife and I met him for dinner, and I was like, oh my gosh, this guy really is 6'6". Adrian Beltre. Victor Caratini, purple auto, NL Central. Yeah, but Pat's really, really tall. So when it was just the three of us working the forum, the average age of the the average height of the mods was like 6'6", 6'3", 6'4". And Robert's the shortest one, and he's a big dude. Parker Bridwell, Taiwan Walker, Felix Jorge, AL Central. Oh yeah, what's a treasure chest baseball? Reese Hoskins. Otani. Well, the fourth mod, the one I brought on most recently, which actually now has probably been 2 or 3 years. Tanner Scott. I don't think he's very tall. I've never met him in person, but he's probably... Oh, the 32-piece book. Okay, yeah, that's cool. Those are cool cards. How are you going to display that, though? Of course, knowing you, you're just going to do a giveaway. Acuna, Prism. And Herrera, AL West. Yeah, that's cool. Pujols. Greg Allen. Yeah. Greg Bird. People do like those. Now that we made it a little bit smaller again, we got kind of carried away that year we made it 40 days. That was a bit much. Yeah, everybody except for one person sent, and I think I ended up having to ban them. Or maybe they ended up sending. I don't know. One person didn't. And either they eventually did, they were out of town or something, or I banned them. I can't remember. But I think every year, except for maybe the last one, I've had to ban somebody. Tyler Mahle. NL Central, it's a nice card. 10, 18. 18 out of 50. Yeah, that's not, that's not terrible. Another Herrera. Different box, so that's why. It's only really bad when you're doing something like your box, where all it takes is one person, and then it's... No, but we tell him we'll ban them too. Domingo Santana. I had one guy one year tell me he didn't think he had to send because he didn't win. And I was like, don't you realize if everybody did that, nobody would send, and if you won, you wouldn't win anything? I mean, don't you get it? He was like, nope, I didn't win, so I'm not sending my card. Elvis Andrus. I was like, don't worry about it. You just hit this button right here. Gurriel. Right, yeah. Yeah. Castillo. We've got a situation on the forum right now where a Jordan item, Michael Jordan item, a rare one. Pretty valuable. Guy buys it. Paul Blackburn, AL West Gold Refractor Auto. 21 out of 50 AL West. So he buy that. That's a lot for this hobby case. They had a red and orange and a gold auto in the hobby case. Anyway, so the guy sends it and then sends its signature. It gets signed for the whole deal. Well, then Buddy sends him a message, says, "Hey, I never got it." And he was like, "Otani." He's like, "Well, I sent it, and here's the information." He's like, "Well, I never got it. Can you get with the post office because I want it?" Glaber refractor, and so I end up getting the report, and it's signed. It says reshipper. So the guy is, I'm guessing, seems pretty clear. He's in another country, and he buys this Jordan item, has it shipped to Portland to a reshipping company. And then when the tracking shows delivered, he says to Buddy, "I never got it. That's not my name or my buddy's name." Yeah, it definitely could slip through the cracks. And so the guy who sends it's all worried. And I'm like, "Dude, one, if you send it to the PayPal address, you're covered." I said, and two, he's had you ship it to a reshipping company. You know, once he does that, it's over, you know. It's not your problem anymore. He's shipped it to them. Now he's got to go through them. Maranta, NL West. I don't understand people sometimes. I don't know if this guy is just trying to get over. Because, I mean, obviously he knows it shouldn't even be there yet. You know, Will Myers. And he's got to know he shipped it to a reshipping company. You know, I mean, that's the address he gave. People crack me up. Verdugo. Brandon Woodruff, NL Central. Yes. Yeah, well, this guy didn't realize it. It was a US address. You know, so he really didn't know that he was shipping it internationally. I mean, he wasn't really. He was just shipping it to Portland. Yeah, that's what I think too. That's exactly what I thought. The only thing that could get him is if he didn't ship it to the PayPal address. You know, if he shipped it to another address, then he's done. He's going to lose that claim. Soraka for the Braves. Blue Auto Soraka. I thought we had an Otani, but we don't. I got a guy right now. I don't know if he's doing it, but his item I shipped it a month ago. Last place it says it was Chile, but he's not in Chile. But it like landed in Chile and they scanned it and then it went on to the next place and it's lost. It's gone. That's gonna cost me probably $130. I've shipped to him before without a problem. I just think it just, you know, with international shipping, there's too many hands, you know, touching the package. And maybe he did get it. I mean, it just, you know, they don't always scan it either. That's the other problem with international. Willie Calhoun. Nicky Delmonico, AL Central. I think there's one more auto in here. and it's probably in that pack. But if not, it's in that one. So let's open this one first. And watch it be in here. No, okay. Moncada, AL Central, 24 out of 50. And Greg Allen, AL Central. This one was a lot more mixed. The NL East didn't get every single auto. The AL East, though, I only think you got, what, the Andujar, right? Let's take a look. Let's see what we got. All right, so Moncada to 50. Will Myers, Ohtani. Tyler Mahle to 50. Acuna, Ohtani. Ohtani insert. Walker, Olson, Syndergaard, Ohtani, Devers variation, Ohtani refractor, Ohtani insert, Santana, Beltre for the Dodgers, Gomez, Billy Hamilton, Woodruff, Kingery, Castellanos, Ohtani, Polanco, Harrison Bader to 99, Mejia, Banda to 25, Bellinger, Ohtani, and Calhoun to 99. So some nice cards. And then autos, we've got Greg Allen, AL Central. Delmonico, AL Central. NL East, Soraka, that's a blue. Woodruff, NL Central. Maranta, NL West. AL West, Paul Blackburn, gold. Herrera, AL West. Herrera, AL West. AL East, Tanner Scott. AL Central, for Jorge. Victor Caratini, NL Central. Arano, NL East. Kyle Farmer, NL West. NL East, Stevenson. AL West, Scribner. AL East, Urena. Dominic Smith, the 99, NL East. Andujar, AL East. NL East, Reed. And Alcantara. Victor Robles, NL East. Acuna, NL East. That's a nice card. It's not a color though. Tanner Scott, AL East. Bravik Valera, sorry. NL Central. Nito Refractor, NL East. Parker Bridwell, AL West. NL Central, Maya. NL Central, Bader. AL Central, Granite. AL West, Davis. Chance Cisco Refractor for the AL East. And another Nito base auto, NL East. So another 5-color. Victor Robles, probably the best one, I think, out of those. All right, guys. The first break was better, obviously. But the second break, not too shabby. You did end up with more autos than I thought, but the Andujar was the better one. That's for sure. All right, guys. Coming up, we've got Clearly Authentic. So let's see what we can hit out of that one. Let me save this video for you.